All right. Hi, friends. Super tricky setup here. I apologize for being late. This was definitely really tricky. All right. Hi, friends. Super tricky setup here. I apologize for being. Okay, here we go. Hello, hello. Welcome to a new episode. This is season 5 of Awaken Life Radio. If you are listening live or in the future now, thank you so much. Okay, here we go. Hello, hello. Welcome to a new episode. This is season 5. Oh, I'm so confused. Okay, friends. Hello. Let's see. This closes. Okay. So this should work. All right. Take 4. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Life Radio. I am your host, Narayani Gaia. Thank you so much for your patience for those of you who are live as well as those who are listening in the future now. Awaken Life Radio is a podcast about being a spiritual being, having a human experience in a world gone mad. And this is season 5, and it is January 2026. And it is such an honor and a privilege to talk with you about all things healing, awakening, integrating, and embodiment in this era of so much change and so much unknown. If you are listening and you are live on YouTube, feel free to say hello and I will respond to the chat after, but I can engage with you. I'll engage with you today after. This has been a wonderful learning curve, and I'm honored to be able to serve and to do my best to show up to bring really valuable content that uplifts, that inspires, that helps us to feel the intimate connection, the spiritual connection that we all have, that we already have within ourselves, with one another, and with the world. Today, I want to get into a topic really near and dear to my heart. It is a topic of the healing that happens when we embody, consciously choose to experience the feelings that we have in our body and understand them. Now, I'm not talking about um, food in your body or exercise. I'm talking about the more subtle aspects of being that are available to us when we take the time to be quiet, ground, relax, and really, really listen. Because what I know is that there's a lot of shame around the body, the body's feelings, the body's sensations, and we need to be able to feel safe in our own skin to be able to heal, awaken, and support the awakening of the planet in this time and always. Excuse me. Native people have known, indigenous people have known for a long time the value of healing from a perspective of working with Mother Earth. And so at first, I want to make sure that we have a good understanding of our physical bodies as extensions of nature. Now, this is something many years ago when I was in massage school, I had a training called Shiatsu. You might have heard of Shiatsu training. And in Shiatsu training, we learned from a wonderful elder named Jeffrey Ewan, who created the Shiatsu program at the Swedish Institute in New York City. And Jeffrey's programs have become very well known. He's also started the Taoist Institute down here in Asheville in Western North Carolina. And the program I went through was like the school that I never had growing up. Things I never learned in school, but made perfect sense, I guess is the best way to say it. And the reason it made so much sense is because we would meditate on how the stones were like our bones and the rivers were like our blood. And I started to experience the sensations of different energy and energy qualities in my body when I was training to be a hands-on healer and to do hands-on healing. And so it's really enlightening to start to understand in my early 20s, which was a long time ago, um, how we are nature. And so I want to make sure that you could start to perceive the power of humans as an extension of nature, including the natural element of the stars, right? So we are made, we are like the bones, we are like the water, we are like the stones, we are like the water. And we are also like the stars. We have a light inside our bodies. Protons are light, and protons and electrons and neurons make cells. And when we understand that more light in the body creates more vitality and energy and health, we'll start to work on a cellular level to integrate our minds and our bodies as one. Now, many people understand that our minds and our bodies are connected, but how are they connected? So, today I want to talk about why and how we carry shame in the body when we don't feel safe, and how to feel safe in your own skin and to heal old body issues, as well as navigate through the overwhelmingly vast amount of information that is being projected and that you're projecting through social media and today's digital world. Because of our digital world, the youth are so obsessed with their looks. I mean, people have always been obsessed with how they look, but the mental health issues that we're navigating as a result of needing to look good online or be likable or be lovable is very intense, right? The amount of pressure that the youth have to go through to experience feeling connected is backwards. Let me know if you're concerned about this. If you're listening and you're in the YouTube chat, feel free to share with me anything that you're getting. Okay, I want to make sure, let's see, that we're live, that this is working. I hope it's good. So, as we continue to heal as a planet, as we continue to heal on the back end of things, we want to be able to navigate the multi-generational issues that are coming in these times. Now, when I was growing up, I remember when a couple of things that I remember. One is when I first got my moon time, my cycle. And I was very like anyone, I was reading about it, I was nervous about it. I didn't know what it would be. And I remember, as many women have memories of, like, possibly bleeding through your clothes, um and like the fear of people knowing that you're on your cycle, right? And what happened, I don't know when it started, but I know when I was a teenager, they would just say, plug it up and move on with your day. Like, that's what tampons are for. Just get on with your life. Now, if you find yourself uncomfortable in this conversation, I want to name that you may have an opportunity here to navigate and discover, to look at where you may be having shame around your body. Now, for women, often it starts with our menses, or it might start with sexuality, or you might have gone through some abuse where your body was not honored and your body was not respected. So if you're listening, maybe you want to take a breath with me, bring your hand to your heart, and I want to introduce a remedy for self healing. And it's really simple. Literally bringing your hand to your heart, taking a deep breath, connecting to your inner light, your spirit, and really honoring yourself for any shame that you may have carried. in your life and that you may still be carrying in your body. In my book, The Awakening Map, which is coming out this year, and in my courses, the Awakening Map courses and the Awakening Meditation cards, we have practices that are designed to help you navigate through shame, negative body image, negative emotional responses that may be stored in the body. So you can click some links below. I have some links in the chat below, not the chat, but the description below on YouTube, or if you're listening through uh, podcast audio in the future and you're not live, you can click below for access to the courses. But one of the main pieces of the courses and the trainings of Awakening Map are to really be able to connect with your heart and really give yourself love and compassion for anything that comes up. And it's a super effective way to self-source healing around any shame or negativity that you may have around your body. Now, I feel like your body is actually the thing that once we make peace with collectively, as we collectively make peace with the body, that we can help end war. Because as we know, if women were in charge of the world, we would not be in the kind of mess that we're in now. And we're really starting to understand that at a very deep level. And so if you're somebody who doesn't feel like it's okay to be who you are and that there's something wrong with your body, know that this is not your fault, but that our society has created these images for so many generations of what beauty is. It's very interesting to look at the art from the 18th century, Renaissance European women, or even to be around my friends who are non-white, my black, brown, and red friends. They love curvy women, a lot of them. And some people are interested in, more interested or attracted to very skinny people. But everyone's perspective of the body is different. And I think if we can really start to behold the essence of both who we are as beautiful, radiant spiritual beings, and that we have some healing to do in our world, and it starts with us, then we can do our homework to help heal the collective consciousness around body shame. Because ultimately, when you're comfortable in your own skin, you can radically live from your intuition. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you can tell if something feels right or doesn't feel right. If you're comfortable in your own skin, it's safe to show up, it's safe to speak out, and you don't have to beg or convince others to help heal you of issues that may have had you not wanting to be in your body. So if you didn't want to be in your body, what that might have looked like was kind of what it was for me: drugs, over spiritual, being way too spiritual when I was younger, trying to escape this world, trying to discover something beyond the dissatisfaction with the emotional experiences that you might be having. So, for example, you're not happy in your marriage, you don't have the kinds of friends or the kinds of jobs or the kinds of experiences that are really fulfilling you, you may want to check out. Because subconsciously you think, it's not safe here, it's not joyful here, this earthly plane and dimension is not a safe, wonderful, joyful place to be. So we alter our minds, we alter our lives, and we want to be anywhere but here. This comes as a result of not feeling a settled nervous system and really comfortable in your own skin, right? So are we willing to show up for ourselves? Are you willing to show up for yourself when it comes to helping to heal the world and to do your part in healing the world? Because when we have more people in touch with their feminine power, whether it's women, men, or anyone who identifies somewhere along the spectrum, if you feel comfortable and safe in your own skin, you can make decisions with confidence. You can hold presence and compassion in a way that's authentic. And you no longer need to keep looking outside for people to constantly tell you that you're enough. So, healing emotionally while staying in your body is very powerful. Last year, I went through a very traumatic experience of developing a sciatica piriformis syndrome in my hip. It was so bad that I needed all my friends and family to come and literally empty my dishwasher, sweep my floor, take the trash out, uh, cook me lunch, clean the dishes, do the laundry. I mean, I couldn't move. And it was the most humbling experience, one of the most humbling experience next to losing people that I loved and facing death. Because I love being in embodied experiences. I love to dance. I love good food. I love to express my feelings. And having my body screaming in pain was one of the most challenging things. And what it was screaming for was attention. So, you know, the old adage, God will tap you on the shoulder. If you don't hear her, she'll whisper in your ear. If you don't hear her, she'll tap you on your shoulder. If you don't feel her, she'll kick you on your butt. That's what happened to me. I had been ignoring my intuition. I attended an event that intuitively I did not want to. So I had used my mind over matter. So I tried to convince myself that it was something I wanted to do, but I really in my body didn't want to do it. And it was a certain kind of a movement class with a teacher I didn't want to participate in. And I pushed myself to do it and I got injured really freaking bad. The result was months and months of healing emotionally and spiritually and ultimately physically. But I had to ask for help. I had to pray. I had to be with all the feelings that came up. And in order to heal, I had to hold my body differently than I had been my whole life. These kinds of things don't just happen out of nowhere. They happen as a result of years of patterning. And whether that pattern is emotional, physical, or spiritual, it doesn't matter because you can work from each angle into the other angles in order to heal multidimensionally. And it's as simple as noticing the part of you that is maybe saying no, or that maybe feels nauseous, or that feels uncomfortable around certain people. And then taking time to really breathe and listen to it. Embodiment is a journey when done with consciousness that doesn't just benefit you, but it benefits your partner, your friends, your community, your clients, and your entire ancestral lines. Conscious embodiment is making a comeback. People are talking about it now because for so long we were trying to escape our situations or our environments based on survival mind and trauma in the field, and of course the patriarchy. So just got to name that. Which means when I say that, an imbalance between the masculine and feminine in our world. But instead of fighting alone for justice, what about being present with what's authentic for us, for you, in your body, to be able to get the messages that your body is trying to tell you? I did this incredible class many years ago. It was with one of my teachers, Dirk Eulenbright, and I interviewed him on the podcast a couple of years ago. You can find it in Awaken Life Radio, either on YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or on my website, narayanigaya.com/podcast. And he's such a great Taoist teacher, Dirk, and he was talking a lot with me about uh, endarkenment on the spiritual path. So instead of enlightenment, what about being in the dark? What about being okay with the mystery in the dark in your inner body? It's a very rich and deep conversation. I actually felt like I was like getting a session when I was in the session. Anyway, when I met Dirk, it was here in Asheville, Western North Carolina, back in about 2002, 2003. And he came to town and was teaching. He was teaching Taoist teachings. He was a shiatsu teacher with Montauk Chia, and a friend of mine invited me to his workshops. And there was the studio in Asheville at the time called Namaste Yoga. And in the basement at Namaste Yoga was a studio without windows. And so Dirk was able to create in the basement of Namaste Yoga a dark room experience for us. Now, if you haven't heard about the dark room is an experience made famous by Montauk Chia in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, who's a Taoist teacher, which is Taoism is the mystical, ancient teaching of the Tao, of the way. You can read the Tao of Pooh or look up Taoism and start learning. And I love Taoism a lot because it acknowledges the natural flow of energy and elements and humans as part of the cosmos and in relationship with the universe. Anyway, back to Namaste Yoga in the basement with Dirk. So Dirk was bringing this Taoist practice of turning off all the lights and being in the dark room together. I've also experienced this in Lakota, Dakota, Nakota, Anipi, and other ceremonies where we're in the dark. And it's very healing. It helps reset your pituitary, your brain, and it helps regulate your nervous system. But it also brings up all your stuff. In this particular exercise in the basement in Namaste Yoga, in the dark, Dirk guided us to move around the room. And the way that we moved was slowly and carefully. But the practice was to notice where we felt that there may be discomfort when somebody was touching us or we were being touched in any way, which was really interesting. And what that meant was when we stopped, when we felt contracted, we would notice in our body. So, was I okay if somebody touched me and sweeping by my hip? Was I okay if somebody touched my shoulder or happened to touch my face? Now, we weren't grasping. We were literally just relaxing and walking around the room and noticing the contraction in the belly or in the body around certain areas of the body being touched. So, like most people, they're covering their erogenous zones. But then if you touch me on my shoulder, it might not bother me. And the exercise was to eliminate any projection of anyone else, get out of your head and get into your body and notice what you feel in the space of some impact and how that affects your sensations and your responses and your reactions. It's a wonderful practice. The way of being in the dark or surrendering to the dark is really the way of the feminine. It is the way of the mystery and the unknown of the dark feminine. Like sex or like birth. When you're in labor, you don't know what's going to happen. You have to surrender. And my midwife teacher, Wapio, she taught us the more you surrender to the mystery, the easier is the labor. When you're going to be coming out of the womb, you don't know what's on the other side. Same thing, sex. Somebody is penetrating somebody else. They don't know what the reaction is going to be. Okay. So if these things bring up for you discomfort, just notice in your body anything that comes up and take a breath and just really hear yourself. Give yourself permission to really listen to the body and to acknowledge the body and what the body is saying and you will move through layers of pain in ways that you didn't even know might have even been there. These days, with the youth and their attachment to social media and being seen and looking good, it feels like there's way more pressure than there was when I was growing up. And the cost of that is that it takes away from the intimacy of connection. What about how I feel when I'm with you? What about how it feels to be seen, met, heard, touched, physically or emotionally? If we are not in touch with our own body's sensations and feelings and understanding what they mean, then we may be blocking ourselves from receiving the kind of intimacy that is healthy, that is natural, and that increases your quality of life. If you feel like you want to go deeper into decoding the messages of your body and activating your spirit in the alchemy of being a complete universe within yourself, I highly suggest checking out the Awakening Map courses or the book that will be out. If you have never meditated, I suggest checking out the Meditate Now course. And you could get there from Awaken Life School. You could get there from awakenedlifeschool.com. You can check out the courses or you can click below. I really hope this podcast was helpful for you. I'm very excited about this era. If you like this podcast, please feel free to rate it. We love 5 stars. And if you're listening on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to stay updated on all of the future podcasts. We will continue to be going live with special guests weekly, and I'm really looking forward to that time with you this year. Thank you so much for checking out this podcast. It's truly an honor and a blessing to be here and to share with you today. And feel free to let me know what you think on the side or below, and I'll respond as soon as I can. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly through my website, narayanigaya.com/contact, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Namaste.